And we're live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Sheep Shear podcast. Here we talk about people, politics, and popular culture. I'm your host, Austin Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. So today we're talking mainly about people, and these people, we're going to be talking about jealousy and adjustment. So before I really get into this topic, I want to first preface this. When it comes to this topic, there are multiple different approaches I could take. There is multiple different forms of jealousy. There's multiple different kinds of competition, envy, and we'll tie in that along with sociology. I think all of it ties in together, and it's going to be very interesting. Before we get into that, I first want to say welcome if you're new and you're just finding the channel. Second, I ask a lot of questions throughout the show, and if you want, you can answer these questions on Twitter by following me on Twitter and interacting over there with me and with other people that are like-minded, because then we can all have this conversation together, because I believe it to be extremely important every single day. But without further ado, oh, by the way, you can find me over there at Austin Creed or at Aussie Creed, and you will participate in the conversation that I have daily. So here we go. We're going to hop right into this conversation. First question of the day is this: are you jealous? And this could be in the dating marketplace. This could be in your everyday life. Are you prone to jealousy? I don't think this is something people like to admit, and I get it. It's tough to admit when you struggle with jealousy, because you don't want it to seem like, even if it's your friends, that's when it's the worst. It's when if you're jealous of your friends, their success, your other people in your family, their success. The whole thing, you don't want to admit that, but it's like drinking a poison and expecting the other person to succumb to it. It doesn't make sense. You should be actively participating in this person's success, because if you want to build yourself up, you need to have competition that rises to the occasion. Otherwise, you're going to just sit in the same spot while trying to tear everybody else down instead of leveling yourself up. However, we're going to take this step by step. First thing I want to bring up is this. I present this to you, ladies and gentlemen of the Sheep Shear podcast. I would like to propose this. This is a quote by Napoleon Bonaparte, the first emperor of France. And this is what he said. He said, "Envy is a declaration of inferiority." I want you to let that sink in for a moment. Let me ask you a question. Do you envy? Envy is a sin, for those of you who are religious. It's in the Torah. It talks about the Ten Commandments. The 10 Commandments that Moses got on Mount Sinai. Number 9 was to not covet thy neighbor's house, not covet thy neighbor's wife, not covet his oxen, his manservant, etc., etc. Because it doesn't help you. You can say, hey, you know what? I think Paul is doing a great job over at his job. He's making a lot of money. He's doing great. I want to get to his level. I want to ask him how he did it so I can learn lessons he learned to become successful. But no, most people say, dang, he's successful. And you know what? I don't like that he's successful. He's making me feel bad. So guess what? I'm going to sabotage him, or I'm going to expose him, or I'm going to embarrass him, or I'm going to go out of my way to do something negative to him. Instead of trying to level yourself up, you try to take them down a peg. Or it could even be in the dating marketplace. Let's say you like somebody of the opposite gender, okay? And you want to get with them. But then you see that they're into somebody else. And instead of saying, hey, you know what? This relationship isn't for me. Maybe I need to level up. Maybe I need to find someone better. You say, oh, how dare that person step in on my game? I'm going to throw a monkey wrench in their program, and I'm going to come after them, and I'm going to waste my time, my resources, my everything going after this person. You see how stupid that is? You see how dumb and meaningless that is? It all ties into what Napoleon is saying. If you envy another person, whether it be you envy their money, you envy their girlfriend, you envy their accomplishments, or maybe you even envy their family, you envy anything about this person, their house, their neighbor's wife, whatever it is, You are declaring to everybody that you are inferior to that person. That is what you're saying. Because if you were not envious and you were just curious and you said, wow, I don't know how they did that. That's amazing. Let me learn. I want to step in and I want to learn how this person got to that way, how they got to see the success, how they found a good wife, or, oh, how do they start this business? How do they write this book? How do they do this? How do they do that? You are curious and you want to learn so you can level up, not learn so you can tear them down. You see how that works? That is envy. Envy is trying to tear them down instead of trying to build yourself up. So that's the first thing I wanted to present to you today is if you're envying somebody, especially, like, I'm going to cut out all of it. We as men, we tend to envy other men. And instead of saying, hey, you know what? Shout out to so-and-so for doing a great job in their work, or for doing a great job starting their own business, or for doing a great job on their side hustle, you start to resent that person for their success. Instead of saying, wow, how do they do it? I want to learn how. No. You see it as, dang, they're making me feel bad, so I gotta do something about it, and I gotta act my feelings instead of acting in a financially savvy way. You act in your feelings and you make a mistake. So I want to ask you, why are you envying somebody? Why are you doing that? That's the first question I want to ask of the day. Because competition should make you want to be better, not your competition to be worse so you can win. Do you think that a professional athlete walks into the situation hoping the other team sucks? Maybe if they're feeling weak that day. Maybe if they're a bad player. But I can guarantee you, if they're a great player, they want their competition to be best so that they can win and prove that they're the best. Versus if you just fight against, if I went out there and I played basketball with a bunch of 8th graders who were shorter than me, not very good at the game, and I won, that wouldn't feel very good. Of course I'm going to win. Versus if I went and I got one-on-one against LeBron James and I won, well, that might actually be an achievement, right? Exactly. Next thing I want to talk about is this. We're going to get into the dating marketplace. Because I get it. When people think jealousy, they think jealousy in their relationship. And that's an entirely different thing. But I'm going to touch on it anyway because I myself, I'm not in a relationship. I don't believe in it. At least not for me in this current time. And not in this current dating marketplace. The dating marketplace is horrendous. Which is why I'm more of, like I said, I'm pioneering this biblical bachelor thing where I'm a bachelor and I'm never planning on getting married. I plan on doing my own thing, and I plan on walking down the path that Paul did and doing my own thing, making my own lane, and that's what I plan to do. But for those of you who want to be in a relationship, I present you with this. We're going to discuss sexual jealousy, especially in you men, because of course women get jealous too. Don't get it twisted. But I've seen so many of you goofies out here getting ready to end your entire career, get your entire life messed up over just one woman or one piece of a JJ, and it's disgusting. And then this is why we're talking about this today. Let's read this. Sexual jealousy arises in response to a perceived threat to a valued relationship with an individual through perceptions, notice the word perceptions, or suspicions, again, of a partner's sexual infidelity. Now, here's my thing, okay? If I'm with a girl and she cheats on me, well, let's say hypothetically, because I'm a college kid, right? Let's say I walk into my girlfriend's dorm room and some dude is clapping those cheeks on the bed. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to walk up to that dude. I'm going to say, thank you. And I'm going to walk out, never talk to her again. Did she disrespect me? Yes. Do I care? No. Because guess what? That guy did me a favor. Because guess what? If it didn't happen then, it would have happened later in my marriage. Would have happened later in my relationship, and I would have been more invested, and I would have lost more emotionally and potentially financially too, if that had happened. Versus instead, I'm not losing my future. I lost the past. Past is gone. But I'm losing out nothing in the future. Now I get it. For those of you who are married, it's a little bit harder. But I'm going to tell you this. As an outsider, take this for whatever you want. If your wife is cheating on you, end the relationship. I get it. There's child support, there's alimony, there's your kids living in a broken home. Well, guess what? Whether it's man or woman, if they step out of the relationship, cut that off. Cut it. It's been over. That is a symptom of the end. It's been over. You need to get out of there right now. Do not stay there. Oh, I'm going to stay for the kids. Oh, it's cheaper to keep her. No! Get the hell out of that relationship right now. Because guess what? You're going to think, oh, I'm going to stay around and I'm going to fix it. No, you won't. No, you won't, you goofy. Hey, goofy. No, you won't. In fact, it's going to be worse. You can't negotiate attraction. And that's why sexual jealousy is stupid. You cannot negotiate attraction. If the attraction is gone, move on and stop trying to, oh, I'm going to show her I'm a man. Or, how dare he cheat on me? I'm gonna expose him. I'm going to do that. Why? Why would you waste the energy? Well, let's keep going in this. Because there's a lot of science behind this too. An evolutionary psychologist perspective predicts that men are more sensitive to the sexual aspects of their partner's infidelity than women. That, I believe that is true. Whereas women are more sensitive to the emotional aspects of their partner's infidelity than men. I'd argue that. I'd say it's both physical and mental. I think women want to have this projection of themselves where, oh, I care so much about who you are on the inside, and I care how emotionally open you are with me. Meanwhile, oh, he's not over 6 feet. Oh, his package ain't enough. Oh, he does have 6-pack abs. Look, she wants those things in addition to the physical, all right? And anybody who tells you differently, I don't believe you. I seriously don't believe you. So don't waste my time trying to tell me some BS. Don't do it. You're wasting your time. This is an interesting article, I gotta tell you. But here's the whole... For those of you who are watching, you can read on ahead while I'm talking here, but I really want to break this down because energy is everything. For those of you who've never heard of Albert Einstein, when he talked about E equals MC squared, energy is everything. Whether it's the food you eat, whether it's you listening to me right now or watching me right now, all of it is energy. It's never being created or destroyed. It's merely being changed and converted. So when you're jealous and you're putting a lot of emotional energy, you're putting your time, you're putting your attention, you're putting all this effort into trying to get somebody back or trying to get their attention back or trying to get their intimacy back, why? Do you honestly think that you can't find someone else who will fit that category? If you keep focusing on you and you keep saying, you know what, I'm not compromising, I'm not going to step down, I'm not going to put myself in the back seat of my life, I'm going to get in the damn driver's seat and I'm going to keep moving forward, and if people want to get the hell out of the car, get out of my dang car. If you keep moving ahead, do you really think that you're never going to have this opportunity again? Do you really think that another person equal, if not better, will come into your life? They will. May not happen today, might not happen tomorrow, but it will happen. And look, for those of you guys who are married out there, it's a different story for you because you've already signed the dotted line. You made a commitment before God, before man, and you have a different situation here. You make your marriage work as much as possible, but I'm going to tell you this. When the bait and switch comes, when she's playing games with you, or even if your husband's starting to do stuff that you don't like, you need to be transparent, you need to be up there, and you need to be honest about what's going on, and you need to stop playing these games. Because look, this is how jealousy and all these things kind of come together. I want to hop into the competition part of this, because competition plays into jealousy quite interestingly. actually. So we're gonna look at this. Competition is a contest between people or groups of people for control over resources. Now, ladies, I hate to tell you this. This is not meant to dehumanize you in any way, but women are usually associated as resources because they're valuable. Not because they're things, but because they are valuable. Men are expendable. That's why we're in the military in overwhelming numbers, and that's why we get drafted. We are viewed as expendable, and women are not viewed as expendable. That is why women are usually classified as a resource in history if you read history and not just read the Communist Manifesto. Let's keep going. In this definition, resources can be both literal and symbolic in meaning. People can compete over tangible resources like land, food. Look at that. And mates. I haven't read this yet. Look at that. Mates, right there. But also over intangible resources such as social capital, blah, blah. Okay, now we're getting into a little bit too mystical. We're losing a point here. Competition is the opposite of cooperation and arises whenever two parties strive for a goal that cannot be shared. Now, I want to pause right there. My friends, I want to ask you something. Let me ask you a question. Why is it that the competition is so viewed as a negative way? It's not negative. If anything, it is the default setting in natural selection. That's why jealousy is so stupid and why you need to adjust your viewpoint. Because when you envy people, like I said, when you envy people, you're declaring you're inferior to them. It's one thing to compete with somebody, and it's another thing to envy and resent that person for their success. You don't want to do that. You want to see your competition and you want to rise above and not be jealous and try to drag them down. Now, when it goes back to the mate thing, if somebody gets married, say somebody gets married, right? And you really like the girl or you really like the guy and you're like, oh my goodness, my life sucks, I can't believe it. You need to stop worrying, you need to stop hating what didn't happen, and you need to start thinking, look, there is always something beneath the surface. I'll tell you something, I'll tell you a little personal story. I used to be in the military, and I was super excited. I wanted to be in the military. I wanted to serve my country. I still love my country. But I'll tell you something. When I ended up being discharged for medical reasons, when I ended up leaving, I was super depressed. I was super sad because I didn't know. I was like, dude, I wanted to be in here for 20 years. I wanted to be a career military guy. What am I going to do? What do I do now? My entire life was thrown upside down, and I hated it. I resented the people who had their lives put together. I resented the people who were winning in life, who were getting ahead, who were doing everything that I wanted to do. I hated it. So what did I do? I decided instead of envying people, which would make them superior to me, I had to step up and start winning in my own life. That's what I started to do. That's why I started this show. That's why I started writing books. That's why I started doing things that would force me to up my game. Because I'm not going to drag everybody else down. That's only going to make me drag down as well. And I'm not going to do it. And neither should you. And even in the dating marketplace, do you think I said, oh, women don't like me, so what am I going to do? I'm going to complain. I'm going to make excuses. I'm going to blame the women. No, don't do those things. Instead, hit the gym. Start making more money. Start increasing your looks. Take care of your skin. Take care of your body. That's what you should be doing. Because guess what? That makes you more appealing and it'll get you more options. Instead of sitting here saying, oh, it's all y'all that are the problem and I'm down here doing great. No, you goofy. That's not what's going on here. If you want to step up, step up. Don't be mad at people for not coming down to your level. Raise up yourself. End of story. I mean, come on. I get it. It sounds really easy when I'm saying it, but it's true, my friends. And I want you to realize this. I want you to realize that life is a competition. Everything in life is a competition. And if you envy everybody, if you're jealous of everybody that comes around, you're going to resent everybody, and you're going to think everybody else is the problem when you are the common denominator, and you're not adjusting your perspective, you're not adjusting your interpretations, you're not adjusting who you are. You're not adjusting to the competition. You're not stuck in this envy, self-loathing cycle. You're not hating society. Society's not going to change to you. Even if you're in a high place like in government or whatever, you're not going to be in a place where society's going to mold to you. And if you are, God bless you. Most people won't get there. So stop hating society and start loving yourself and move yourself into a place where you are not in a place where you're filled with disdain and hatred. Don't live your life that way. Because I'll tell you right now, the more you live your life that way, the more everybody around you is going to despise you. They're going to realize that you're not a positive person, you're not fun, you're not engaging, and they're not going to want to be around you, and you are not going to have the charisma required to get you to that next level. Anyway, my friends, I don't want to go on too long here. I think you get the point. Stop being jealous, especially men. Don't be jealous of other men. Women, don't be jealous of other women. You need to realize what you're doing and where you want to go, and then make a plan to get there. Take action to get there. Don't just complain and try to drag everybody else down, because it's a waste of time and it doesn't help you. Anyways, my friends, I want to thank everybody for making it this far in the show. Again, if you have any questions or any comments, concerns, and whatever, you can find me on Twitter at Austin Creed. Over there, you can answer the questions. You can engage with me. More than happy to do it. But until next time, my friends, I want to tell you, God bless you, God bless your family, and God bless the United States of America. We are out of here. Peace.